Yo, did you guys
off.
see the new release blog for the PlayStation 5 controller?
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta say, you know what the look reminds me of? Like something out of
boomerang.
Portal.
No, okay. I
Well,
thought
yeah,
you were gonna say
boomerang.
the PS3 boomerang. That's what it reminded me of.
The PS3 boomerang? You think so?
Yeah,
because I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it's a cross between that and like Xboxy. It's
Yeah,
a little
essentially.
Xboxy.
It looks very Xbox.
But like the color scheme, because you know it's usually just like one tone, like just a solid black or a solid blue.
Did you see
that
the
two-tone? Yeah, it looks like Portal to me.
Did you guys see how when they turned it all in black? It looks really good all black.
No.
Yeah,
Let me see this article. If
There's
it
some
says
concept art. I mean, I guess it is concept art when people turn it all black. That shit looks pimp all black.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna come in different colors and variation when it launches, for sure.
For sure.
At some point, yeah. Like now,
I
there's
mean,
a whole
I'm-
bunch of variety of it.
I mean, I'm digging it, and I'm also digging where the light is, because I wasn't
on
a
the
fan
back.
of the light. I wasn't a fan of the light being in the back because you couldn't really tell. So it never made sense to me.
I think that would be a problem if you can't turn off the light now, though, because if the light is always on, let's say you're watching a movie in the darkness, you will see the light there. So there has to be an option on this controller to be able to turn it off, because on the PS4 you don't have that option. So
you have an option to dim it, but not turn it off.
Yeah,
right.
And that drains the battery.
Yeah, it does.
The light drains the shit out of the battery.
Well, they said that they seem to have like, because right now I know it's an inbuilt battery that can be charged with a USB-C. So they said that they tried to get as much battery as they can out of these controllers. So that was a main problem with DualShock 4. So I'm sure that they have a solution for it.
I hope so.
How do you guys feel about the name? Instead of them going DualShock 5, they just went DualSense. Try to be a little sexy with it.
PR speak.
For sure.
What's the special thing about it? That's the reason why it's called Sense?
Because
Well,
it has
okay, so
haptic triggers. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, so the adaptive triggers, because I was reading about it recently, the adaptive triggers is what has me the most excited for, because I guess they changed the tension of the triggers. So like, let's say in Tomb Raider, you gotta pull back your bow, and you pull the trigger, it kind of like, it feels harder to pull it than like a normal hit, like a normal trigger. So it looks like, depending on what game or what thing you're doing, the triggers will change like sensitivity. I think that's super interesting.
That is interesting.
I think that's fine. I just think that like people do play a lot, and like I don't know about you guys, but for me, like when I play a lot of hours, my hands hurt, and if I have to have like, if I'm stressing out my fingers, like because I'm playing like Tomb Raider or something, because there's a bow in that, like there should be a feature where you could turn that off, or like that's like the weight of the triggers are disabled or something, you know? Because I feel like
it's probably it's not gonna be like you're lifting weights though. So
right, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if pressing a button, it feels more like I need to press harder. Like how like I know it sounds like stupid, but like I said, like if for people that game long and then have problems after, like their fingers hurt, like how would that feel after a while? You know, when you're playing a game long time and then like, you know, think about it. If your fingers hurt normally with these current controllers with weighted triggers and stuff like that, will it affect like your comfort?
Right.
It looks
so.
bigger,
I think it's cool. I just think that they just have to have a feature that you're able to disable it.
I mean, maybe also for you, since the controller is smaller, it feels that way. 'Cause now that it's gonna be bigger, it's gonna be a wider base. You have more of a, you know what I'm saying? Like
like a grip.
like a grip.
I know what you're saying.
So you're gonna probably, instead of being like this, you're probably gonna be like this. You know?
Right. You have a little more
wider.
Yeah,
so
I know what you're saying, because I have a problem with like hand cramping when it comes to like the Switch.
Oh yeah,
because
the Switch is so small.
Because it's so tiny, so my hands really like have a hard time gripping around it. But I can see what you're saying, Armando, that it does look like thicker.
Yeah,
I guess is
it
the right
looks
way
like
to say it.
Xbox
So it looks like
in the thickness.
it looks like it really it fills out your hand for like more comfort.
Yeah.
So
And what the crazy
I'm
thing
excited for it.
is that they're going away from the classic, you know, PlayStation controller look. Now it's not.
I'm glad you're
like
holding
that
it
anymore.
up.
It's
No,
a little bit
not at
fatter.
all.
It's more fatter here. You know, it's more of a like the. It looked like the boomerang. Essentially, it's more curved. So
Yeah, I
it looks
mean,
cool,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, I mean, it's been said pretty much. I mean, the PlayStation controller is like iconic at this point, but at the end of the day, like when it comes to controllers, people have said time and time again, like it's Xbox or the Switch Pro controller that are like the top controllers.
Yeah, I like the Pro controller.
Like I was playing with the Pro controller the other day, and I'm like, this controller feels like perfect. You know, like, and the Xbox controllers, like they feel great. Like I have an Xbox One, and the controllers I feel like. At the end of the day, I know how iconic it is for the PlayStation controller to be, but I'm glad they're kind of moving away from it. 'Cause it's my least favorite controller.
Yeah, and they're rethinking
So
it
your
too,
two-
also, which is cool.
So your two favorite controllers are pretty much the bulkiest ones, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you said the Xbox and yeah.
Did
So,
you like the Big Daddy?
The
controller?
Duke.
Yeah, the Duke.
The Duke.
I mean, at its you know when it first came out, because I had an Xbox originally when it first came out, and you didn't know any better. But I also had a Dreamcast too, and then Dreamcast, it was very similar to Dreamcast, so it wasn't a big departure from Dreamcast. So I was kind of already used to it. But I always found like Xbox controllers to be like superior than the PlayStation controllers, to the point where I was looking at like alternatives, like alternative controllers that mimic the Xbox design. I was even looking into like there's an adapter you can buy that you can connect to your, I think it was PS3 or PS4, I forgot which console I was looking into for it, but you buy an adapter, you connect your Xbox controller to your console, your PlayStation console. But obviously with that there was lag. But yeah, the PS controller has always been like good enough for me. Like it's been good but not like superb.
Yeah. Will this make
So-
it a day one purchase for you guys?
We need to wait to see what's gonna happen with
Yeah.
the pricing. But
Definitely. I mean, just going by a controller alone and nothing about the games, no. Doesn't seem like a day one for me. But again, yeah, he's right. It's too early. The thing that I am curious about, I'm reading now that they got rid of the share button and they're adding a create button.
Which is the same shit. It's just a different
Wait,
name.
It
Well,
probably
yeah.
will be the same, but they're kind of making it seem like you can edit it on the fly, because that was one of the things I hated, where I had to hit share and then I save it, a 15-minute clip. And then I got to fucking X out of the game, because when you open up the program to edit it, it closes your game. Then you have to go and edit it to be smaller, and it was just such a hassle. So I got a feeling the create, the reason why they changed the term is because it's more of you editing your stuff and maybe adding shit or effects or whatever to it.
Yeah.
So that seems cool.
I just think that like when it comes to like, I know like nowadays it's like sharing your content and being a creator, like a content creator, is huge. So I think they're aware of that, because at the end of the day, like if you have a clip or a video you want to share to your audience or just in general online, it's free advertising for PlayStation, regardless of whatever game it is or whatever. Even if it's a third-party game, like it's still like free advertising, because I'm sure in the share create software or system, whatever, they're gonna have like their logo embedded on it or something, you know, like. So
You're probably right.
because I remember I shared something on my Facebook one time. I shared like an Uncharted clip, and it said like PS4 shared, like it had that in the thing, and it's in the headline. So I know that they're doing that. They want to make it as user friendly as possible, because we are in the era where like advertising is not only done by like marketing, it's done by content creators. It's not no longer done by commercials. So they need to make sure that they push that, because the PS4 has a lot of systems and a lot of features that don't work. You know, so
It's very bloated right now.
yeah, like the PS4 has, you know, we did the other day, we did the share play, where I can play with you if you don't have the game, but it's very laggy. Like there's lag behind it, like it doesn't work properly. So there's a lot of features that were promised, and seemed cool when the PS4 came out. So if they're going to market
they
this,
just never optimized it either, though. Like,
Yeah,
we have this, and they never made it better.
right? I think also they probably looked at the data and like, okay, no one is using it. There's no point to push this, especially where like
because it wasn't good to begin with. Because when people tried it, like, oh, it sucks. So why am I gonna keep using it?
exactly. But also there was nothing to be gained for them to fix it, because kind of like it's kind of like PS Now. Like PS Now has gotten supposedly better. You know, I know Pedro did like a free trial, but they lowered the price. They're adding games to it constantly now. They're adding big first person games to it. Like Spider-Man was just got added on there, and Horizon was added on there like a few months ago. And obviously those games come in and out, but they are pushing it now because there is a streaming revenue behind it. The share play feature, there's no revenue stream behind it because it's literally me giving you access to a game for technically for free. So if the audience doesn't really, if the audience is not really calling for it and they're not using it as often, why fix it? Because it's money lost on them in the long run. But I feel like with the create feature, this is going to be a feature that they should optimize because it's free marketing, basically.
And I like the idea. You know how when you were playing with Mac, they share play,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see what was happening. Like I couldn't because you were share playing already. And I'm just like, why can't I see the gameplay? Like I should be able to see you guys play.
Maybe it's taxing on the servers because you're all like, Mike is in my game, you're watching my game, I'm playing the game, he's playing the game. Like maybe it's all it's too much data going back and forth off of one like location, you know? Because I'm sending Mike my game. Technically, he's like you're streaming my game. Mike is in my game, so maybe it's just too much data off of one console. Who knows? I really don't know how that works, but hopefully they do share play is something that comes back. I don't think they have no incentive to bring it back, honestly, because like I said, like it doesn't seem like it worked. But hopefully they bring it back because like it's a cool feature, and with Microsoft being so like consumer friendly and gamer friendly, PlayStation needs something like that, like a gamers first kind of initiative that Microsoft for sure has.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully it plays out that way, you know.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed the controller. I think it looks different for PlayStation. Something they've tend to skew away from, not change the status quo. But it looked good. I think I'm excited to touch it and see how it feels and see how heavy it actually is.
I'm excited to touch it.
Man, that whole sentence. I'm eager just to find out more information about the PlayStation 5 and see, especially now with like the coronavirus, if that's gonna affect the pricing, if it's gonna affect release date. I'm interested to see if that I'm interested for both parties to show all their cards already, because I think for a solid year it's been like drip of information, and it's getting kind of annoying already.
Especially with this controller reveal, it came out of nowhere. It was like a tweet, like a tweet on the blog, and that's it. I'm just kind of like, I think you want to do your info.
I think marketing wise, I think PlayStation has dropped the ball a few times already in terms of like at least the past like couple years. I know like I think Concrete Genie, for example, was a game that first party game that came out, or second party game, I'm not really sure, but it was an exclusive game that came out, and they released it along with the news of like I think Last of Us or PlayStation news. So like the release date news got buried under like some marketing news that they had. It's like, why would you do that?
I think it was the PS5 article, the Wired article.
That's probably it. And then this, just their presentation that they had, the CDC presentation they did, not the CDC, the GDC presentation that they did was trash. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't meant for consumers, but they advertised it for consumers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a total fuck up on advertising for sure.
So I think marketing wise, I think they're like slipping in terms of like how to release information.
Agreed.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, man.